What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dan here, and this is my first ever movie review. And of course, it's for the most important movie of the year, Superman. So, I saw Superman last night. I was going to film this video last night, but I was like, I should really let it sink in a little bit more. And then come up with my thoughts. So, it's the next morning now. But I really loved this movie, and I just want to say sorry. I've never done a movie review before, so it's kind of just me rambling on in a way. I'll try and hit some of the points you'd see in a typical movie review, but anyway, here and there are spoilers here. Big spoiler warning. I may start off not doing too many spoilers, but I'll quickly get into it. So I'm just going to put a spoiler warning at the start right here because I'm pretty sure I'll just spoil within like the first minute. But let's get into it. I love this movie. I thought it was incredible. I didn't think it was perfect, but it really was awesome. And I think it's a great start to James Gunn's DC universe. So, to start off, this Superman movie, what it's meant to do is to kick off the DC universe. It's actually not even, in a way, might not even be the first movie, as the Suicide Squad is very James Gunnish. It was his movie, obviously, but that kind of may play into this universe. But it still is like the kickoff of this universe. We get a good idea of the universe, and I really like the universe that it's in. It's a universe with a bunch of superheroes already in it, metahumans, and as the movie calls it, superheroes have been around for 300 years. And Superman's also been around for 3 years. This is not his origin story. It's not his. It's not like a bunch of his backstory. It leaves a lot of that up to the knowledge of the people watching the movie. But to be honest, I really like that they didn't go over his origin. Anything that his origin has relevance to in the specific story that they're trying to tell, they do explain. But they don't take forever about it. It literally just throws you right into the movie. There's a little, right when the movie starts, it says 300 years ago, metahumans came, and like 3 months ago, Superman, yada, yada. If you saw the movie, you know. But the movie was incredible. I really liked it. And I like that, in a way, we kind of just got a Superman story. This is, it's you see with lots of like origin stories and stuff, how typical or like copy and paste they can be. So I'm glad we didn't get an origin story. Superman probably fighting his greatest battle so far in his career, but still. So David Corenswet as Superman, I thought he was great. My only real criticism is he could have been bigger, but hey, he only had like a year really to prepare for the role. Building muscle does take a long time. So maybe he'll be bigger in other movies. But that's my only real criticism. But he really understands his character. James Gunn wrote the character perfect for him. He really embodies Superman. He really is just this character that really wants to do the right thing. He doesn't want to kill people. He just wants to save people. He doesn't want people dying. And now that he has the power to stop that from happening, he wants to stop it from happening. He wants to save people. He literally is the symbol of hope. I think that was done way better in this movie than Zack Snyder's movie. Like, to compare the two, Zack Snyder's movie, I always felt like it was implied that Superman is a symbol of hope. You see the people like cherishing him and everything, but it never really felt as if it was. It was kind of like forced upon you. This improves why Superman is the symbol of hope. He really is truly an incredible person and is just trying to do the right thing. I really think David Corenswet did an incredible job with the character. All that. Some of the other characters in the movie, obviously, we'll start with like Lex Luthor and Lois Lane. I thought they were portrayed perfectly as well. The best thing about Lex Luthor in this is that he's just a bad guy. I'm done with seeing the sympathetic villains or like the like unhinged maniacal villains in a way, where he is just a dude that hates Superman. And that's really all Lex Luthor is. He's just a dude that hates Superman. And I love that that's what they went for in this movie. Now, the one criticism I will, not the one, there's multiple criticisms, but a criticism I had of the movie is right at the beginning of the movie, Lex Luthor is like trying to like beat up Superman. Like literally like the first like 5 minutes of the movie. They don't really explain why Lex Luthor hates him. It's just kind of understood that he does. So I think maybe they could have done a better job of explaining Lex Luthor's hatred for Superman, even though it's like he doesn't really have any reason, like justifiable reason to hate Superman. He just hates him, which I get, but I would have liked to seen maybe that explained a little bit more, like why Lex Luthor just randomly hates Superman out of jealousy or whatever, and all that. And that's another thing about this movie too, is you are thrown into a world with metahumans. And not that I need explaining for a bunch of stuff. Like, so there was the kaiju scene in the movie. These are all spoilers, by the way. Where he's just like, don't worry, I have a kaiju that can distract Superman while I go and invade his crystal-like fort in Antarctica. And so, like, he just has a kaiju that he grows. Like, he just releases as a little baby and then grows. And it's just like, oh, I mean, I'd like to... I guess that's just normal that they have that kaijus are in the world. But I mean, that's a very minor criticism. It's really just part of the universe and a product of the universe that James Gunn built, that kaijus exist. And like I said, another thing that exists are the metahumans. I thought all the superheroes in this movie were incredible. You have Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific was probably my favorite of that group. And you also have Metamorpho, who is also really good. He has a great little story arc in the movie. I really liked him. And for Metamorpho, like, I've seen Metamorpho. I've seen like his abilities through like animated stuff and all that. This movie probably does the best job of showing off Metamorpho's actual powers and what he's actually capable of. It was super cool. I think that this is the best representation of Metamorpho. And I thought that he was cool. Also, Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific, I think, of the group, was probably my favorite. He has a great fight scene in it. And I just feel like he got the most screen time, maybe, of the three. And he was really cool. Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion, was also incredible. You know, one of my worries of Guy Gardner, seeing him like in the trailers and all that, was that he was kind of just going to be a dickhead, which in the movie he is. And he was just kind of going to be like, almost like full of himself and was going to be borderline a bad person. But he really is a hero in this. He is a dick, but he does do good things. He is a hero. He saves people and he fights bad guys. And that was really awesome. My only real complaint about him is Nathan Fillion has played Hal Jordan a couple times. He's always fan cast as Hal Jordan. And it seemed like, I only realized this after the fact. I think he did great as Guy Gardner. Actually, really good as Guy Gardner. But he's always been Hal Jordan. He's, like I said, he's been Hal Jordan before. And it's like, oh, well, but you know, he's a little old, so we're not going to do it. But we can give him this other Green Lantern character that that he can play. But then I just thought, like, wait, the guy they cast as Hal Jordan is even older than Nathan Fillion, I'm pretty sure. Why don't they just have Nathan Fillion play him? That's a dumb critique. It's more just like, I wanted to see him play Hal Jordan. I came to terms that he wasn't going to play Hal Jordan just because he was older. And then it's just like, wait, but Hal Jordan was cast by an even older actor. But anyway, that's a dumb point. And Hawkgirl is also really cool. I also like how they explain, like, Superman has a no-kill rule. Batman has a no-kill rule. But not every hero has the no-kill rule. Hawkgirl clearly kills people. So does Guy Gardner. Mr. Terrific, he doesn't necessarily kill anybody, but they don't really get into it. I always thought, like, the no-kill rule is a good thing for some characters. Like, I like it for Batman and Superman, but I don't like that every hero just doesn't kill. Like, it seems like they're focusing too much on that. You can still be a symbol of hope, a symbol of good, and have to take a life. It seems just more realistic, you know? Like, I look at, like, Captain America in a way where it's like, Captain America doesn't leave to go out on every mission looking to kill people. He goes out looking to save people. And if he has to take a life, he has to. He's not going out there trying to, but he does put other people's lives ahead of saving everyone. You know, he puts the lives of the people that are at risk and the people that are causing harm. He's willing to do it. And that's something like almost a criticism I have of DC Comics sometimes. But I like the no-kill rule works for some characters. Like, I understand not wanting to kill, like with Batman and Superman, not wanting to cross that line. But the understanding that maybe you have to sometimes is always kind of, it's a big moral, like superhero morale. Anyway, we're getting more into the theory of more of like superheroes. Anyway, back to the movie. The action scenes in this movie were incredible. I thought, for one thing, all the bright colors and everything. I know everyone points out in the trailers compared to Zack Snyder's movies. They're so bright, they're so colorful, and I really think it fits the tone of this movie so well. There's a bunch of really good fight scenes. Believe it or not, like I said, I think the best fight scene may be with Mr. Terrific. We get a lot of that James Gunn using like music over like fight scenes, like older like songs and like pop songs. And we get that from Mr. Terrific. Superman also does have some really cool fight scenes, like when he fights the kaiju, that's pretty cool. And when he fights Ultraman, there's lots of really, really cool fight scenes. Now I can get super into it, but I liked it. And also Krypto. I almost forgot about Krypto. I didn't almost forget. I probably plan on going on like 5 minutes of this video. Most likely 10 minutes. Krypto was incredible. You know, James Gunn, I remember in the leading up this movie, talk about how Krypto was like a bad dog, like he was going to be like a little like, you know, he wasn't trained. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You're going to have him being a dog and like doing stuff. Krypto really is kind of like a bad dog, you know. He really just, he doesn't respect Batman. He just like runs up and he starts jumping all over Superman all the time. He's constantly biting people. And he's like, there's a scene where Mr. Terrific has his T-sphere and he just starts trying to like run after it because it's a ball, and he destroys like a couple of them. And I just loved it. He was an untrained, misbehaved dog, and I loved it. He even has a scene like I reminded me of when Hulk takes Loki in the first Avengers and just smashes him. And he's like, puny god. Where at the end of the movie, Lex Luthor and Superman are talking, and then Krypto just like gets right in the way and just starts throwing Lex Luthor around the room. And that was one of the best scenes of the movie. Now, aside from like the action, the non-action scenes were also really good. I think you get lots of good dialogue between all of the characters, especially Lois and Superman. They had a great chemistry, and you can kind of see that in all the interviews with the two actors. But yeah, I thought that Rachel Brosnahan and David Corenswet worked very well together. So that was a great dynamic. They show like the scene that you see in the one of the trailers where she's interviewing him. That's a really funny scene. And David Corenswet, like I'm thinking back to that scene where it's just like he just seems like a normal person. Like when I compare it to like Henry Cavill's Superman, I'm just like Henry Cavill just didn't do anything. He was just kind of there and looked at people, and he barely had any dialogue. Where David Corenswet, you have so much depth to his character. Like he is just a guy, and he's just trying to do the right thing. He really is a great Superman. So I was super excited about that. I'm sorry, I keep not looking at the camera. So I apologize for that, not refilming this. And then, yeah. Next, I want to get into some of the complaints I had about the movie. But overall, I really loved the movie. I don't want all these complaints to be make me seem like I'm negative about the movie. One thing I didn't love about the movie is the movie kind of just goes really fast. It was a 2 hour and 10-minute movie. But it felt like they could add like 10 minutes, let scenes carry out a little bit longer. Everything felt like you go from one to the other, next. So I would have liked maybe some more time held on certain scenes and shots and all that. I understand James Gunn has a story, and there's a lot of stuff you have to build up, and you only have so much time. But I would have maybe thought that there are some scenes that were a little too long, didn't have to be that long, and could have maybe been put elsewhere. We didn't really get a ton of the Daily Planet. I mean, we actually did. We got a lot of the Daily Planet, but there could have been more developing those characters and showing Clark Kent's everyday life outside of his relationship and his parents. And another complaint is his parents, it felt like he just didn't, like, they were just there. Like, I know there's a big, like, you see the movie, like, at the end of the movie, he starts to realize how important his parents he grew up with were. But I just felt like they were just there, and then he goes to see them in the farm, and they're like, "Don't worry, Clark, you got this." I felt like they could have been built up better. He does have like a really good talk with his dad, but it doesn't feel like their relationship was anything real. I felt a little artificial in a way, but it was still good. They can elaborate on it more going forward. But another big thing with the movie too is like you find out that Superman's crypt, Jor-El and Lara-El sent him to Earth to kind of basically conquer and repopulate the Kryptonian race. And he finds that out throughout, like, halfway through the movie, and he's like, "That's not what I'm here." And then the whole thing is that he was truly raised by his real parents on a farm, and that's the real person he is, and that's a big theme of the movie. I think they just could have spent a little more time on his parents and that relationship, and all that. But yeah. Another thing I didn't love about the movie was the post-credit scene. So the post-credit scene to me has always been like, especially early on. Like, remember the first Iron Man? The post-credit scene was Nick Fury saying, "You're part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it," and that was huge. And it's not like we don't know that there are other movies. During the Iron Man time, people didn't really realize that Captain America and Thor were all going to meet up eventually. So that was big. The post-credit scene, although funny and really cool, it's not necessary. like nothing happens, and it's kind of just an extra joke in the movie. And which is weird because at the end of the movie, before the post-credits, they bring in Supergirl at the end. Like, he's like, Superman is just in his first solitude, and he's like, "Oh, looks like your cousin's here," and she comes in, and she looks great, by the way. And she's like, "You took my dog. Like, thanks for watching my dog." And like they have a fun back and forth real quick. And so I'm waiting for the post credits, and like nothing really happens. It's like I wanted like a teaser for like Green Lantern, or even if that Supergirl scene was at the end, that would have been better. I wanted like a teaser for something else. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, Batman might be a lot to ask for in a post credit scene, but we get like nothing out of it. I'm just like, okay, I feel like I just waited through the credits and could have looked this up on YouTube like the next day, and I would have been fine. I was just like, okay. I mean, it's funny, I guess, but it's like, now do I have to stay after the next one? I guess I will, because I'm a nerd and I want to know what's going on. But it's like, it kind of just felt like you don't need to stay after for the post credits. I also would have liked, at the beginning, like I said, I would have liked to have seen why Lex hates Superman more. I get it's implied, but I would have liked to see just a little bit more backstory of Lex Luthor and his hatred towards Superman. All in all, though, guys, I really like this movie, and I assume if you're watching this, you are going to see it or have seen it. I'd like to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Thank you for watching, by the way. Like the video and subscribe to my channel. Anyway, guys, peace out.